The seducer is aware of how boring life is to the average person. Most people are willing to welcome someone unreliable, maybe even slightly dangerous, into their hearts to let themselves go and feel overwhelmed by emotions. People want to be seduced. They want something new and exciting, which is why a person who offers them pleasure and adventure cannot be resisted. Just like a drug, a seduction is an escape from reality, and once hooked, the target will stay hooked until the spell is broken. The victim will stay in love even if the seducer is cruel and untrustworthy, as long as he or she keeps igniting interest. To become a successful seducer, one must adopt the characteristics of one of the archetypes and get rid of his or her anti-seductive qualities. Don't expect to see results fast. Like any skill, this requires practice over long periods of time. Be patient, the results will be worth it. The Rake. A woman never quite feels desired and appreciated enough. She wants attention, but a man is too often distracted and non-responsive. The Rake is a great female fantasy figure. When he desires a woman, brief though that moment may be, he will go to the ends of the earth for her. He may be disloyal, dishonest, and immoral, but that only adds to his appeal. Unlike the normal cautious male, the Rake is delightfully unrestrained, a slave to his love of women. There is the added lure of his reputation. So many women have succumbed to him, there has to be a reason. Words are a woman's weakness, and the Rake is a master of seductive language. Stir a woman's repressed longings by adapting to the Rake's mix of danger and pleasure. As a Rake, a man has to let himself go. He has to show the woman that he is willing to do anything for her. For this to work effectively, the man must have a reputation. The target must know, or at least suspect, that he is desired by other women. Otherwise, she'll think he's pathetic, as he probably has no options with women, hence the reason why he's so needy. If done correctly, this can be extremely attractive. Not even the most beautiful women get to experience having such an attractive man losing control over them very often. Even very confident men, especially the very manly, tend to be rigid and will refuse to display any sign of weakness. They are too scared of what people may think. A Rake doesn't care. He will go as far as he wants. A Rake is willing to overcome any obstacle for the woman he desires. Obstacles such as a jealous boyfriend, an overprotective family, or a conservative culture are in fact necessary for the Rake to shine. If there are no obstacles, find some or create them yourself. Once the victim has fallen for the Rake, the dynamic tends to change. The Rake might lose interest in the victim, causing her to fear losing him. Successively, this causes the woman to put the man on a pedestal and put up with his indifferent and sometimes cruel behavior. She might know that a man like this can't commit. She might even know that he has hurt other women in the past. This, however, makes him more desirable. Danger appeals to the repressed side in women. As a Rake, if ever caught cheating, play the victim. Explain how much you want to change but can't. You can't choose one woman because there are so many at your feet. It's not your fault. You want to change, but how can you? There are too many options. Funny enough, women won't lose attraction. On the contrary, they will jump on the opportunity to tame such a man and have him all to themselves. You must embrace your reputation. It's good that people know how much you desire women and how much they desire you. You will certainly cause women pain, but the way in which you do it doesn't seem intentional. In the end, you're just being you, and she always knew what she was getting into. Remember to never be explicitly cruel. Always smile and display your politeness. People might suspect you're hiding something, but this will only intrigue them. The dandy. Most of us feel trapped within the limited roles that the world expects us to play. We are instantly attracted to those who are more fluid, more ambiguous than we are, those who create their own persona. Dandies excite us because they cannot be categorized and hint at a freedom we want for ourselves. They play with masculinity and femininity. They fashion their own physical image, which is always startling. They are mysterious and elusive. They also appeal to the narcissism of each sex. To a woman, they are psychologically female. To a man, they are male. Dandies fascinate and seduce in large numbers. Use the power of the dandy to create an ambiguous, alluring presence that stirs repressed desires. If you've ever read Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, you know that men and women live in entirely different worlds, and each wants to bring the other into their own. Dandies are attractive as they seem to satisfy this desire. Male dandies are heterosexual men who act and look feminine. They are very gentle, they tend to wear accessories, tie clothes, and sometimes they may even wear makeup, but they clearly like women. Don't make the mistake of believing that to be attractive, you must be devastatingly masculine. I'm pretty sure that most women agree with me when I say that a pretty boy like Zac Efron is a lot more attractive than Arnold Schwarzenegger back in the days. Female dandies are women who, although physically attractive and flirtatious, are very independent. Like a lot of men, they don't seem to be interested in commitment. Men are never her priority. She has other more important things going on in her life. Even when she is in a relationship, she is never fully committed to the man. It seems as if she is willing to walk out the door at any moment. She just might move on to the next man if the current one doesn't satisfy her. It's key to understand that dandies are different in appearance and manner. They are both masculine and feminine. They live for pleasure instead of living for work, and they don't care what others think of them. They are only interested in pleasing themselves, but the cool thing is that this pleases the people around them. Most of us feel trapped by our lack of freedom, so we are fascinated by those who flaunt their difference. If you are to play the dandy, keep in mind that there is such a thing as taking the character too far. If you are perceived as being way too different to the ordinary, the public will think you're crazy. Be subtle. The Coquette. The ability to delay satisfaction is the ultimate art of seduction. While waiting, the victim is held in thrall. Coquettes are the grand masters of this game, orchestrating a back and forth movement between hope and frustration. They bait with a promise of reward, the hope of physical pleasure, happiness, fame by association, power, all of which, however, proves elusive, yet this only makes their targets pursue them the more. Coquettes seem self-sufficient. They do not need you, they seem to say, and their narcissism proves devilishly attractive. You want to conquer them, but they hold the cards. The strategy of the coquette is never to offer total satisfaction. Imitate the alternating heat and coolness of the coquette and you will keep the seduced at your heels. Coquettes are intriguing because they are unpredictable. Sometimes they are warm and loving, fueling the victim's ego, but other times they are cold and distant, causing him or her to feel insecure and wonder if they are no longer attractive. We want to avoid feeling this way, so we will attempt to interest the coquette again. People are inherently perverse. They tend to lower the value of a person if he or she was easy to seduce. We are intrigued by what we cannot have. Therefore, someone who took more time and effort to seduce is of higher value to us. A powerful seducer has the ability to turn away and have his or her target come to them and wait for gratification. Make the target believe that as you have gotten to know them, they have become less exciting to you. This will spark an innate insecurity that will trigger an intense craving for your attention. Most people worry that withdrawing will cause the other person to lose interest. Others believe they must shower the target with love and pleasure to have the other person fall for them. The reality is that once you satisfy someone, you open yourself to the possibility that he or she will lose interest. Once you have made them uncertain of you and of themselves, reignite their hope, making them feel desired again. Then, lose interest once again. Keep repeating the process and you will have your victim on his or her heels for as long as you please. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please leave a thumbs up and a comment. If you're interested in buying the book, there's a link in the description.